Imagine you're building a house. If you just hand a construction crew a drawing of a bunch of blank squares, they won't know what to do. You have to label those boxes. This is the kitchen, that's a bedroom, here's a bathroom, so they know exactly what they're building. The same logic applies to web design. A wireframe is your digital blueprint. It maps out where content goes, but until you assign a specific label to each box, the browser has no idea what it's looking at. For a long time, developers built websites using only one type of label, the generic div tag. It stood for division and was used to slice a page into separate sections. But a div tells the computer absolutely nothing about the actual content inside it. A header, a menu, and a footer all looked exactly the same to the machine. To solve this, the web moved to semantic HTML, tags that describe exactly what the content is. Proper digital planning means giving your layout meaningful structure from the very beginning. You decide what the content is before you ever write the code to build it. Why change a div to a semantic tag if the page looks the same? Because not all users navigate visually. Visually impaired users rely on screen readers. With only divs, readers see a wall of identical boxes. Semantic tags let assistive technology jump directly to the navigation. Those same signposts guide search engines. When a bot crawls your site, it uses semantic tags to figure out which parts of the page contain the actual value. If you want your site to rank well, the search engine needs to understand your structure. Let's translate a wireframe into code, starting from the top. The area containing your site logo maps directly to the header tag. Right below that, your primary menu links wrap in a nav tag, telling the browser exactly where to find navigation. Semantic tags function as a universal translator. They take the visual layout you planned in your wireframe and turn it into machine-readable meaning. Moving down, everything unique to this specific URL goes inside the main tag. You should only have one per page. Inside main, you'll need to group your content. This is where developers get stuck, choosing between the section and article tags. The golden rule: use section to organize a single page into themed chapters. It's a logical grouping that wouldn't make sense ripped out on its own. The article tag is for completely self-contained content. If you could paste it elsewhere and it makes sense independently, it's an article. Look at this wireframe. You have a recipe on the left and related links on the right. The recipe is independent. It works on its own. That makes it an article. The links belong to an aside, content related to the main story but removable without ruining the recipe. Finally, at the very bottom of the page structure, we close things out with the footer tag, housing your copyright info and social links. The main tag holds the core value of your page, while article, section, and aside define exactly how that information relates to itself and the user. This infographic highlights a common point of confusion. When you finish writing your semantic HTML and open the file in a browser, you won't see your wireframe layout. You'll just see a plain vertical stack of text. That is exactly what is supposed to happen. HTML's only job is to provide structural meaning. It does not dictate appearance. A vertical stack proves the computer is reading your structure correctly from top to bottom. Pushing those elements into columns, adding colors, and creating the layout requires an entirely different language called CSS, which comes later in the build process. Take a look at the complete mapping. More header, nav, main, article, section, aside, and footer tags all correlate directly to the distinct regions of your initial wireframe sketch. You design the visual layout in a wireframe, and then you build the structural meaning with semantic HTML. Getting this step right guarantees your site is accessible and readable to machines long before you ever write a single line of styling code.